name is Andrew Wells with Executive Line. It's Living Life on Purpose.
And I'm Matt Wilson, and we sit down with successful people who also live a life of purpose. You know, the goal of this show is for you to realize that, you know, when you see a successful person, they are not without struggles, they're not without challenges. They're just here to share with you how they faced issues, walked through those, how their faith played a role, and ultimately we want you to be encouraged from the stories that you hear.
And so we're excited to have Mike Bailey here. He's an Auburn graduate, a Birmingham native, and he took over as CEO of his father's company in 1990 after graduation. Has grown into now doing well over $16 to $20 million a year, doing commercial contracting around the Southeast. Some of the most notable projects that you have is the Milos, the Tazikis, Hardees, a lot of these fast food franchises that if it looks good, he probably did it. Just last year, he started the Ashlynn Bailey Foundation. It's focused around restoration of addicts, helping them recover through faith and purpose. And so we'll hear more about that today. And so, Mike, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
And thanks so much for being with us, Mike. And you know, obviously we like people that are willing to share their story, and so I appreciate you taking the time to be with us. And a lot of success in business. I mean, $16 to $20 million, C.N. Bailey and Company, and so starting out, you're coming out of college, you're going into the family business, and then being in it as long as you have been. What are some of the issues that you faced, in that time frame, and challenges that have really tested you, and how did you walk through those things?
Well, my dad started our business in 1979, and then I graduated college in 90, so a little bit different what you said. In 90s when I came to work for him, basically full time. He's still involved with it. But it's me and him, and I have a younger brother that's in business with us. And we, like you said, we build a lot of fast food restaurants, we build convenience stores, commercial construction in general. But, we've had some ups and downs. The economy, at different times, in construction can really be volatile. 2008 was just, I think for a lot of businesses, but especially construction, was a pretty bad downturn. We went through a period for about 3 years where we were paying everybody to build for us to build for them, but basically it was not very good financially. And we lived through it, survived it, and have come out the other side stronger, I hope. But there's like a lot of businesses, there's a lot of ups and downs and that side of it, and it just kind of keeps you honest and keeps your faith strong, keeps you on your knees. Please help me. I think a lot of people can relate to 2008. It was affected so many people. Every business there was, I think, had some effect from it. But that's ours. We build a lot of fast food restaurants now, like you said. Have some really great clients that are fun to work for, and they're good people to deal with. So it kind of makes it enjoyable. It's not a cutthroat business every day with what we do. So, but yeah,
that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, so you built compared to Google, it's considered a small business, but compared to all of us, it's a pretty large business. It's a very significant size. How are you able to take what you learned and build it to that kind of capacity, and then build relationships with some key owners who are doing very well? You're able to maintain relationships and grow the company. How did you do that? How did you grow into that role?
Well, ours, there's kind of like two different philosophies in construction. You can build in one area, which kind of puts you into like an open bid market. Anything that's going to be built in Birmingham, I'm going to try to bid that and build because I'm just going to stay here. Or kind of our philosophy is we build clients that we have a good relationship with, and wherever they want to build it, we'll go. So we do have to travel a lot. But, we kind of have, over the years, have worked through some clients that were not, they weren't our wheelhouse, and we just didn't seem to function as well with them. And we found the ones that fit us, and I think we fit them, and we keep that relationship as strong as we can, and hope that we're doing the best we can to service them and maintain that connection. So, like Taco Bell, there's a Taco Bell franchisee here in Birmingham that we build for, that I know they're the largest Taco Bell franchisee. They may be the largest franchisee in the world, but they they have a lot of.
It's not Shaquille O'Neal or anything.
No, almost so.
He owns a lot of Taco Bells, I think.
Yeah. This is Tacala is the name of them, but they keep us very busy, a lot of work, and I think we do a good job of answering all their requests, that type of thing, and that just seems to work better for us than going into open bid market and not knowing who the next guy is, and am I gonna do it right? Is he gonna pay me? All the different things. So that's just has worked better for us over the years. So, and we have not tried to grow and be the largest contractor. We just, my brain size isn't that good. So we've gotten to a level that we're comfortable with and feel like we do a good job at that level, and anything, below that gets hard to be, is profitable, but anything bigger, we, don't feel like we're servicing the client right. So we kind of stick with what we've got and try to just do the best we can with that. So that's our philosophy. But
that's good.
Yep.
So, there's been a lot of success, and, so from that standpoint, everything's going along great in life.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we were, talking behind the scenes, and, basically had the all-American family,
mm-hmm.
and everything's good. And then, all of a sudden, your faith really gets tested. Mm-hmm. Kind of walk us through what you dealt with Ashlyn, and how that's changed your life, and kind of changed your mindset and your purpose, and what you feel like God's calling you to do.
Yeah. So Deborah is my wife. We've dated since we were 16, the week before we turned 16 actually. So high school sweethearts, married right out of college. I went to Auburn, she went to Alabama, so we got both sides of the state covered there. Anything's better than Georgia.
I don't know about all that.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So, married straight out of college. Both of us have, good businesses. I'm in construction. My wife is a physical therapist, so everything's good there. We have 2 kids. I have a daughter named Ashlyn, and we have a son named Ty. And they're great kids growing up, involved in church with us. They, straight A students, both of them involved in sports. Daughter was a cheerleader at high school, at Hoover High School. Son played baseball Little League, and then started playing lacrosse as he got a little older. But then in 9th grade in Hoover schools, they merged 2 middle schools together, so they kind of had a change of friends, and things started changing. Our daughter actually started trying smoking weed, started using drugs, which started out, I think, just trying to fit in. That turned into an addiction on weed that led to a stronger addiction, started pills, and it just kept growing over the years until she ended up hooked on heroin. It was like a 5-year battle for her. She was, I think, she was in like 9 different forms of rehab, whether it be, out-of-state rehab or different things. But anyway, 5 years worth of that ended January the 30th of 2016, so 2 years ago basically. She died of an overdose of heroin. So actually bought heroin that was laced with fentanyl. That's what a lot of the overdoses are, is actually fentanyl. But she died of an overdose. So pretty dark time for us. You know, everything we ever had, you know, the last thing I would want to give you would be my kids. And to lose a daughter is, or son, or anybody lose a child is pretty tough. So I know we've got a lot of friends that have been through similar struggles, and you know, it's not unlike any other struggles, but it really is a dark place to be in. So went through that. Daughter was saved. Know she's a Christian. Know she's in heaven. So a lot of peace from that. And for us, when we were going through that period with Ashlyn and her addiction, I always felt like God was telling me that He was going to take basically what the devil meant for harm, and I'm going to turn it into something good. So, you know, that whole process, I always, you know, was kind of looking, felt like, well, Ashlyn's going to get freed from addiction. She's going to be the next, you know, whatever, counselor at a drug rehab place, and she's going to save the world. So I was always kind of looking at that, trying to come up with what I thought her purpose would be going forward, and me to be a part of that. But actually, the day that Ashlyn died, I had gone out on a run out in the woods and the trail, and I don't know if anybody's ever just kind of felt God truly speak to them. I really had one of those God moments where I just felt His presence, and He took, you know, all these mic plans that I'd had and really just set up, I mean, very clear 3-step purpose for us as a family. And I didn't know it at the time, but from the death certificate, about the exact same time that I was having this time with God, I think is when my daughter died by the death certificate. So don't think that was a coincidence. I think that's God being God, and stepping in and kind of, you know, adding, speaking, you know, some truth over the situation. So felt like He gave us a real clear direction, 3 things that we're supposed to do as a family, which we turned it into the Ashlynn Bailey Foundation. And so we've been trying to walk that out, and it really, as dark as the days are to not have your daughter, you know, I'd love just to hug her one more time type deal. As dark as that is, the purpose that we feel from that, and the good that we're seeing, even coming out of her death, and the life change that we're getting to see in people through it, has really been neat, and it like almost overpowers any of the pain that we had to go through, you know, with the loss of it. So it's kind of given us as a family, and when I say family, I'm talking about like my whole family's involved in this one. So it's been pretty neat to see something that a lot of times can break a family up, you know, really kind of keep you in bondage, and you know, like we talk about at church, it's kind of a stronghold the devil can put on you. Just to see that broke and a family be able to walk it out together has just been really neat for us. So.
That's so powerful.
How are you able to work through those struggles together? Like you said, it does break families apart. I mean, it breaks companies apart. Like when you go to work, you have those stresses. You know, every day you have to wake up. You're like, I'm gonna go tackle this. Whatever. I mean, you're the guy who has to solve all the problems. You have to solve everybody else's problems, and then there's no one really to solve yours. So you're there, and at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whenever you have to check out, you have to go back home, and you know you got another set of problems. Except those problems, this particular one, you can't leave it at home.
Right.
How did you navigate that, both at work and then at the same time having to manage this? Because I'm sure it wasn't very comfortable for your wife. I know, just people around you, and just trying to figure out how to both support your wife and then figure out how to navigate this with your daughter. Like, so many things happening all at once. How did you manage
and our son too my son is a senior in high school now, so you know he you know lost a sister in the deal. So it, you know, it took some time to kind of work through it. I did, obviously take some time off from work and just stay home with my son and my wife, and we all kind of, worked through it together. Our company, my dad is still involved daily with it. My brother obviously is, and we have some very strong Christian employees that are there to support us the same way we would support them. So I have that comfort that a lot of people, their work environment may not be quite as good as ours is, so to be honest with you. But that's been nice. It did take some time, but I really, we just kind of, each day just kind of took that next step, and it took time to kind of build that up. But I know God gave us this direction, and I have seen Him in so many steps through this process, to know that it's His involvement, and I tell my son all the time, if you get an opportunity, thump the devil on the head today. So I don't want him to win. So for me, I can look back at a lot of negatives. Being a parent, I wish I had, could I have, what if, all that. And you can dwell on that negative and stay in that hole, or you can take a step, and you may not be fixed today, but you keep taking that step, and over time you get to a higher place. So for us, that's all we could do as a family, is just keep moving ahead and do what you feel like God's leading you to do. So, and having a purpose, God made us. We got a spirit, and that spirit is always craving something. So you're either gonna feel that with the world, or you're gonna feel it with God. What you gonna do? So and I think the more you feel it with God, the more you feel that Holy Spirit leading, I think the stronger it'll make you. But you have to focus on it and kind of keep it rolling that way. So that's, not to say I don't back up like 4 steps sometimes. A lot of people on this watch this program don't know Mike Bailey, so I'm like, I don't know about that, but so I don't get it right every day, but I'm trying. So that's the main thing. So
none of us are perfect, and the reality is, while we all face different challenges, not everybody faces that particular challenge. And I can just tell you from the standpoint of knowing you and seeing you walk that out. I mean, we met shortly after this had taken place, and I've never seen a wavering in this man's faith. I've never seen, I've got a handful of people that are in my life that have walked through similar situations, that they went through some of the most difficult things that I've ever seen somebody go through, and to see them walk through with purpose and with courage and conviction with their spirituality, it encourages me, and it encourages other people, because it restores and strengthens my faith. And so I just know that it's been incredible for me to watch and to see what you guys are doing with the foundation, and then with Deborah writing her book. That's extremely powerful. But one of the most powerful things out of this whole thing was when y'all went to court and you read the letter to the person who is being convicted of selling the fentanyl to your daughter. And I don't want to tell the story. I want you to tell that story. But that was one of the most powerful things that I've ever seen in my life. And you shared that on Facebook, and it was awesome to see that type of grace extended to somebody who took the life of your child. Share that, please, with the viewers.
Okay. So Ashlyn's last couple days were very documented. Where she was, who she went to see, and different things. Well, she went and bought what she thought was heroin. Shot up with it later that evening, and died of it. Well, they documented everything that had been happening for the last few days. Actually went to the drug dealer and purchased drugs from him like 3 times in a week to get evidence of what was going on. They ended up, took almost a year, I think, 9 months or something like that, to go through the process to get the U.S. Attorney's Office to approve going after the drug dealer for what's called distribution leading to death, which is like a felony murder conviction, basically what it amounts to, which they end up getting, arrested him, went through, convicted him of that, and after they did some plea bargaining stuff, it got reduced down to a 20-year sentence, but it was a federal case, so federal different from other cases, and it's day for day. So his 20 years, a true 20-year conviction. But we personally really didn't have a lot of involvement. We, talked to the DEA. They asked, we've got this. We're thinking about going after the drug dealer. Are you okay with it? And we said sure. So really, other than kind of praying every day, hoping this would work out, we really didn't have any personal involvement. It wasn't like we were going after the drug dealer or whatever. Some earthly repercussions for what he did, and he's got to walk that out. But he does not need to live with that burden of me putting on him, and I personally am not going to let him have a control over my life by not offering that forgiveness. So that was one of the things we learned through that small group, and so really, did that, and our hope is that he's got 20 years in jail. He's got plenty of time to, to think about this. I don't want to see the guy go to hell for eternity. I'd rather see him go to heaven, right? And the power that he could have over other people because of his life story, if he turned his life around to Christ, could really be powerful. So, that's our hope and prayers that, in time, he finds a true relationship with God and life change, and then he has a purpose that he wants to use it. So it'd be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, this is great. And I love the power of forgiveness. Seems to heal a lot of wounds.
Yes, sir.
And we talk about purpose, and you're able to convert this trying time, this difficulty in your life, not just let it go to waste, right? You took this, and now you're learning how to make this where you may be able to convert other people's lives, make this not be the same repetition for other families. Because you came out, you had a good life. You had all the things that you could ever want. You had a big house, very big house, the white picket fences, all the toys, all of everything, and then all of a sudden, one day, your life is turned around. So this could happen to anybody. This is no one's immune, and sometimes it seems like it's a little bit out of our control. But you're able to take something that was seemingly out of your control, and although it didn't turn out as great for you as you would like it to, you're going to make it better for others. And you're trying to do that. And so you're doing that through the Ashlynn Bailey Foundation. Can you share with everybody about what this foundation's for, like how you got this to where it is and how it's changing lives now?
Yeah. So we feel like God was leading us to do 3 things, and one of them is all the times that we went to different rehabs and stuff with our daughter. Every once in a while, you would meet somebody in that rehab that had, whatever, physically beat the addiction, emotionally had, but had found a connection to God and really felt like, this is my past, my future is going a different direction. I'm going to use the past for something better, and they just really felt like God was leading them to do it. So our goal is we're trying to find those type people that have turned their life around, and like you said, put them in a restoration phase. So what we have started doing is scholarshiping students to Highlands College to help them get an education to go with their purpose, and it's kind of through our church, Church of Highlands, but it's a ministry school, and they can use it in many different areas. of education, and they can take that when they graduate, have an education, have their past, and have that confidence that they can go and do something. So that's one step. The other one is, I don't think I can really personally speak a whole lot of truth to somebody that's dealing with addiction. That's just, I hadn't been through it, that type of thing. Although these students, they can. I mean, they can make a difference big time. I don't think I can, but what I can speak over, and my wife can, is over the families that are dealing with it. So, where we can, we've been able to, go speak with different people individually, or some, more of a public setting to speak over that. So that's kind of what we feel called to. And my wife, going through the whole process, she just felt like God was leading her to write a book dealing with it. And so just recently, I guess a couple months ago, her book, it's called Anchored, A Devotion for Parents of Addicts by Deborah Bailey. You can get it on our website. There's a link to purchase the book. But it is specifically speaking to families, not so much the addict, but to families or friends that are have somebody in their life that's fighting addiction. And it really just kind of anchors you in what God's Word says, and it is powerful. So if you know anybody, I'd love for you to get a copy of the book, because it really helps. And then the third thing is, talking about the drug dealer, he was convicted of distribution leading to death. It was the first case in Alabama where the person that died had multiple drugs in their system. Ashlyn had weed, kind of a pill like for depression, and then the fentanyl is what killed her. And they convicted him of that, and they hadn't done that in Alabama, so it kind of set a new precedence for the state. And we know that there's something we're supposed to do with that. We have not kind of moved that forward yet, because I don't have a real clear direction on it. So anybody listening, got an idea, I'm listening. But we feel like that basically there's an Ashlyns law now that can be used to help fight back against the drug dealers. So that's kind of what we feel like as a foundation we're supposed to do. So,
Well, I feel like your daughter, if she was here, she's probably listening, that she'd be very proud of you. This is awesome. So, thank you for joining us today. This has been very inspirational. The power of forgiveness and restoration and community, and being able to pivot from something that can be trying and hard and difficult, and being able to convert that to something very positive. And it looks like it looks like the story is just starting. So this is very exciting to hear. So please tell us, you're a general contractor, so if anybody want to learn more about your general contracting, they can go to your website and share with them how they can reach you at the foundation for Ashlynn Bailey Foundation.
The foundation is AshlynBaileyFoundation.com, and on it you can see Ashlyns Story. You can see the kind of the three areas of our direction. You can purchase the book online there and those type things.
We're going to have them in the show notes. So it's ASHLYNN. I always struggle with these spellings. So Ashlynn Foundation, AshlynBaileyFoundation.com.
That's it. Yep.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching today. This is, to me, it's been incredible. It's been extremely powerful. And, just a reality that, it doesn't matter where you've been or what you've done, that there's hope and forgiveness for anybody. But, that you can also take your pain and turn it into purpose. I think that's, what we're taught at Highlands on a regular basis, and you're walking that out. So if you like this episode, please like, share, comment, because we want other people to be inspired by, Mike's story and all of these stories. So thanks so much for watching, and we hope you have a great day.